Ahoy hoy, I'm Pavo.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to episode 60 of That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
It's your weekly digest of all the Star Wars news that's going on in the galaxy far, far away.
No,
That's my radio.
I was going to say that reminded me of somebody, and I can't think who.
That's my radio voice.
Ah, well, it's a good radio voice.
So, hello, Neil.
Hello, Pav, you okay?
Yes.
Right, I've got 4 stories.
4.
4 stories today. 4 stories.
Force Tories.
Force stories. You see what I was trying to do there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Eat, shoots and leaves.
Ah, that'll do.
Get it?
Excuse me.
Fire away.
Right, so let's go to the first one. So once again, Solo, a Star Wars story, is undergoing some additional photography. But let us not worry or panic, because this time round it's just pick-up shots and part of the post-production process. But now all we want is the trailer.
Well, they're saying that it's by the weekend as we record this on
Imminent.
the Wednesday night. They're saying that it's going to be this weekend. I think if tomorrow, let's say we're recording this on a Wednesday, if tomorrow they drop like a new poster,
Yeah,
or something like that, then it'll be Friday or Saturday.
and some people, well, some of the companies, and they've done it with Marvel, do a teaser
for the teaser Yeah,
trailer,
yeah.
which is quite weird, and getting used to that. But so that may well crop up tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. It feels to me like it's going to be. There'll be one tiny little drip, and then there'll be just a massive onslaught.
It's going to have to be
Because it's 4 months away.
That's what I say. It's only four months or so away now, isn't it? It's not far away. So, and to have absolutely nothing, even the on-set pictures are really sort of. There isn't.
We still haven't had an official picture of Alden Ehrenreich. I mean, there's that one that was in Spain or Japan or wherever it was.
But it was
Russia. No, I think it was Russia, wasn't it?
And they've had the like the on-set sneaked pictures that you can see.
Yeah.
Here and there,
So there's nothing. I mean, yes, it's worrying me.
Is it starting to worry?
It is.
you?
It's always been the movie that has worried me more than anything else. More about the fact, not to do with production problems, but with the fact that they're not showing us anything.
No.
And they're not, because normally by now, 4 months in, we're getting nothing but like TV spots. And
You should have you should have had the teaser,
Well,
and you should have had the
main
first-
trailer.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
main trailer as well. So.
we should have had at least probably that and an international trailer. So we should have had probably 3 trailers by now.
But you sort of understand a little bit because they had to do such extensive reshoots that it was going to be a bit delayed.
I understand
But
that.
still not. I mean, the ideal time was when The Last Jedi was released. Smack a trailer on the front of that. You've got a built-in captive audience.
But the rumours online has been that there has been a trailer ready for like a few weeks now.
Right.
So it's been ready and raring to go. I can sort of understand them not putting it at the start of The Last Jedi, because people who are not in the Star Wars bubble like we are and you know, devour everything that Star Wars, just like the general moviegoer, is going to probably be there. I think they were already confused because Rogue One came out and didn't have Rey in it.
No.
And then this one came out, and where's Darth Vader? He was in the last one. You know what I mean? They don't take it, and then all of a sudden there's a trailer for another Star Wars film. There's still people I talk to now, and when you sort of go, oh yeah, there's a Star Wars film every year, they go, every year? And I mean, this has been known for like 3 years now.
Well, yeah, it was their universe, isn't it?
So it's the fact that a lot of people don't understand what's going on. It could be to the detriment of the whole Star Wars. I hate to use the word franchise. It's a very business word.
Well, it is a franchise,
But
isn't it?
I think it's one of those things, and we may need to do a whole episode on my feelings towards Star Wars and the fallout of The Last Jedi and stuff, because there's things that people have been saying online that I've been listening to that I've started to come around and understand, and I'm not saying it means that I hate The Last Jedi or anything. I still think it's a great movie, but I also think that it's the same as like The Phantom Menace, that there's also a really good story that they didn't tell.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
You know, I think with The Phantom Menace and the whole of the prequel trilogy, if it had been done from a different angle, it could have been awesome.
Yeah.
Instead of trade routes and politics and all that kind of thing, if it had been a story of this chosen one and excuse me, Sith versus Jedi, and I also feel that The Last Jedi, if they'd have gone a different route, especially with Luke, it could have been even better than it was. But I think that's a whole. We could do a whole episode on that.
You know, there is arguments then that we need to see what happens in episode 9 to
But
make
I'm
it
not
worth
saying.
it.
But with that, I'm not saying that it makes all the haters right.
No. I
isn't
sort
the
of know
case.
what you mean. It is part of that. We spoke about it last week with the expectations that people had, and I think a lot of expectations of what they thought or they think should have happened didn't, and that's some of the reason why people didn't like it. But also, if those expectations had met, it would have been probably a great movie.
Yeah.
But these things might, because it's that middle act, and the middle acts are always. It's always where things start to look perilous or things are going wrong before it all has a resolution. That might be the reason why, and then it might all swing back around on episode 9, and it all may come to fruition and be what you wanted it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the guys that I watch all their videos, Red Letter Media, and they do a half in the bag, and they do their review of The Last Jedi, and they're all very down on it, and they're all laughing at the plot. And the thing is, some of the points that they have are very valid points, just about the whole what Star Wars is now. I know that a lot of their shtick is that they come down on movies all the time, and they sort of hate everything, and they're taking the piss out of everything. But you watch it and you sort of go, actually, that's not a bad point. That makes sense that you would be pissed off about that particular thing and this particular thing, and why have they done that? And sort of after 30 years, why is Leia still being just chased by the Empire as such? After 30 years, it's still going on, and there's no end to it and stuff, and it's just being regurgitated. And now it's making me sound like I'm one of those haters, and I'm not. I want to really emphasize
it's
that.
Points that you can appreciate rather than it's an appreciation of what they're saying.
But I never felt that about The Force Awakens when everybody was coming down on it, saying that it's just a rehash of A New Hope. We've said it a million times on this podcast that wasn't the case for me. But I'm sort of, and again, it's still a 4.5 toes up for me. The Last Jedi. But I can understand people's points of view. Anyway,
just quickly on another point, obviously with the franchises, they also do have to, with the Han Solo movie coming up, I hope they're playing it well and are going to do it well. Because franchises at the moment, these sort of universes that studios are trying, they're
not
dropping
working
like flies.
Yeah, none of them are working.
I mean, we've been criticised, but DC isn't working. Apart from Wonder Woman, everything they've churned out recently has just not worked. You know, they tried to do the Dark Universe. Tom Cruise tried to boot that. That's now, a
influx.
Yeah,
I think it's
well, they pretty much said it's not going to happen. And what was the other? The Ghostbusters was going to be a universe that didn't happen, and so the list goes on. They're even now saying the Transformers universe is, if that movie Bumblebee isn't a success, that's it. That they're pretty much going to draw a line under that now. So
yeah. My one thing that I do hold the hope for is that Lawrence Kasdan has written it, and from what people have been saying, it's a fantastic script. But there's been many times when people have said there's been a fantastic script, and then it gets made and it doesn't transfer over onto the way it was made from a good script.
Not everything Lawrence Kasdan does is great. No. I mean, Dreamcatcher, did you ever see that? Was a truly dreadful.
Just today, Christian Bale was reported saying that the script for Terminator 4 was fantastic.
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen. It didn't work when they filmed it. But then, there you go.
Well, let's go on to other things. So, talking to The Last Jedi, there is now an official recipe for Luke's tasty green milkshake that we saw him milk from the Thala Sirens of Act 2 in The Last Jedi. So, to make this delicious treat for a Last Jedi party, all you need is to mix cream, milk, sugar, and extracts. I don't know what extracts means.
Extracts?
Yeah, that's what it said on the recipe.
What's the name of the animals?
The Thala Sirens.
Maybe extract from a Thala Siren.
Yeah, little milky.
Four teats.
Yeah. And then freeze. But to get the green colour, just add in green food dye.
Okay.
Yummy.
Okay, so it's basically milk with just green food dye.
It is frozen. Well, it's ice cream, isn't it? It's like one of those frozen milkshakes that you get, but with green dye in. Or just go to McDonald's or other fast food restaurants are available, get a milkshake from there and drop a load of green dye in.
Although I think, to me, it had a bit more of just like a runny consistency, didn't it? Because it was all stuck in his beard and everything.
But this is what they're saying is the official recipe for it.
So that's going to take over from blue milk, do you think?
No, I don't think it will. Blue milk's too famous.
When I was little, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this, but I very, very nearly drunk some Lenore.
Right. Oh,
because I thought it was blue milk from Star Wars.
Okay. So when me and my brother were little, we did make some blue milk.
Oh, did you?
With blue food colouring. Well, it wasn't food colouring, right? So we got the milk and we dropped the stuff in, and it made it quite blue. Not quite as blue as it was on there, and we took a drink, and it was peppermint.
Oh.
It's like a real peppermint flavour. I always remember that now. With my brother's other bright idea of putting milk in a soda stream.
What, and have fizzy
he
milk?
thought it'd be fun to have fizzy milk. It doesn't work.
No.
And it just makes it...
It would just curdle, wouldn't it? Surely?
Yeah, it would just... Yeah. Anyway.
No, we don't want that.
Bright ideas that we have. But yeah, me and my brother tried to make blue milk as well. But Lenore, man.
Yeah, well, it just looks like it. Looked like it. I think it was Lenore.
Other
washing fluids are available.
Yeah. But taken to the casualty. You all right, sunshine? What's up with you? I've drunk Lenore. Why? I thought it was blue milk.
Yeah, that is blue milk.
Right, moving on then. The Last Jedi maybe teased us with a hint of a romance between Rey and Poe. But it doesn't seem like Star Wars' Daisy Ridley is keen on this. Speaking on Sleep Mo with Mark Hamill, she says there doesn't need to be this romantic fluff. There can be relationships that aren't romantic, which pretty much sums up what she said. She does repeat herself a lot about the relationship. So what do you think? Do they deserve a relationship?
I think everyone, when they first shook hands or whatever, you thought, oh, this could be the beginning of a beautiful relationship, beautiful friendship, but... I think she's going to be too busy with other things.
Everybody thought this would Finn, didn't they, for a bit? And I think that's moved away now. But after The Force Awakens, I thought, ooh.
Yeah, but I think when he was unconscious and she gave him a kiss on the forehead and said, I will see you...
Did you say forehead?
Forehead. And she said, we will see each other again, my friend. And that's the biggest cock block ever, that was, wasn't it? So, yeah, I think that she sort of...
But he's off with Rose now.
Yeah, he's off with Rose now, yeah.
So that's all working.
I think that's going to be more of the... Unless they're going to try and go for a Han Leia kind of...
Could do. I mean, that could work, couldn't it?
But with what? With Poe and Rey?
Yeah, but it doesn't... You don't have to have a relationship.
No,
Not everything... So. When a man and woman are together on screen, they don't have to have this relationship.
No.
And it doesn't always have to be a romantic link in Star Wars, does there?
Not always.
Sometimes. Also, with Lucasfilm's secretive nature, not much is known about Trevorrow's vision for Episode 9, besides Princess Leia having more of a substantial role. And it will be a long time before things come to light, but whatever he had in mind with Daisy Ridley, it brought her to tears with his plans for Rey when she heard where the story was heading. So that's all we do now. Do you think a death?
You can't say, can you? I think whatever it was that Trevorrow had in store for Rey, Daisy Ridley found very moving. So, I mean, you can speculate what you like in regards to the fact that... I thought it was
quite an interesting thing that it brought her to tears just by reading it.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what she thinks of... There's so many questions in regards to Episode 9 now because of The Last Jedi and the fact that it seems to wipe everything away that you thought was going to happen, plus the fact you've got the question, the big elephant in the room is what they're going to do with Leia.
Yeah.
With if the reports are still going to be valid that they're not going to use CGI or they're not going to recast, which I do think that they're going to do one of those two things.
They've got to, haven't they? They can't just suddenly she's not there.
Yeah, because I think if they don't recast, they've got to do like an Oliver Reed thing in Gladiator. They've got to do something like that.
Where they just have the same cut used over and over again.
Yeah, or they get somebody that they look from behind that looks nothing like Oliver Reed. Obviously, it won't need to look like Oliver Reed. It'll have to look like Carrie Fisher. But
All they do in that every edit they do of it, they'll put that bit where she's flying back to the spaceship.
Yeah.
So wherever she is, so they're talking in the comms room or the planning room or whatever. She's there flying. So every bit they've just
that's the bit that still gets me going. But it's interesting that Daisy Ridley had that reaction to what Trevorrow.
I mean, it's going to take years for us ever to see, if we ever do see Trevorrow. I think it'll get leaked eventually, many years in the future. They said that about the Frank Darabont script for Indiana Jones, didn't they? And that got leaked. So
yeah,
and we all saw how great that would have been.
Yeah, but again, a great script doesn't particularly mean it's going to be a great movie. So,
but you see where they stole the ideas from.
Oh yeah.
And then just thought, well, why didn't you just stick to... anyway,
whole
different conversation.
A whole different podcast.
Right, we got something a little bit different that I want to talk to you about today. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, and I'm going to come up with a few of these over the course of these podcasts and YouTube videos. Little questions.
Okay.
So they're almost like what ifs.
Okay.
So I want you to give this one a thought. What if Obi-Wan hadn't died in Star Wars A New Hope? Where do you think the films would have gone?
Okay. So are you saying that he would have defeated Vader, or they would have just got away?
Or, let's put it that they still had to fight, but he got away.
Okay.
Or something happened, like you've seen in many movies, something falls between them and they're separated and they doesn't move on. Okay.
Well, that would be interesting in regards to the fact that maybe he would have properly finished training Luke.
Right.
So Luke maybe wouldn't have then had to have gone to, or would he have maybe? I mean, he may well have still said, "You need to go and seek Yoda."
Yeah, I'll come with you.
And then Yoda decides to go off, and they become the three amigos. They just go off like sorting out little Tang's problems.
Sounds like fun to me. It just makes it different, doesn't it? Because if you think, like if the end of the movie, where let's just take A New Hope, where would it have gone in that direction? Would Luke have said, would it have totally changed the dynamics? Could Luke still have saved and blown up the Death Star like he did? Because obviously that was the Force ghost of Ben telling him what to do.
I mean, in theory, would they have even? Yeah. It's tough to work out exactly where would they have come.
To make it
because they would have gone to Yavin.
Yeah.
So because they had Princess Leia, Leia would have still had to have taken R2 to Yavin to get the plans out, which means that Vader, because they had that tracker on, they would have still found Yavin, so they would have still had that whole battle. So Luke, in theory, would have still got in the X-Wing. Han would have still buggered off. I suppose Obi-Wan Kenobi could have could have spoken to Luke through his mind.
Sat behind him.
Or maybe, well, I don't know about that.
Alec Guinness keep leading round. You're going too fast.
Yes.
What's that one over there?
Yeah. And then Luke would have been pissed off because stop telling me what to do. Yeah. So I don't think the actual end, the rest of the movie would have been changed, apart from the fact that Obi-Wan Kenobi would have been around.
Yeah.
And maybe would have been helping. I don't know.
So if you went through the films, I mean, let's say he sent Luke off to do his training while Obi-Wan was trying to do, or helping Leia or something along those lines. So Luke went to do his training. So Empire Strikes Back could have nearly been the same.
Or it could have been a whole completely, once they've got rid of the Death Star, it's then the three of them then start the Jedi Order again. So their story thread would be that they go off and they're recruiting new Jedi, which would be quite interesting.
And then Obi-Wan could have had the fight with Vader at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
could have had Obi-Wan and Luke together fighting.
Yeah, or all three of them had to go and try and take down Vader, and
the Emperor.
Yeah, that could have been very interesting.
I will bring more of these little questions up for you.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't think it would have affected A New Hope at all. I think we'd have got the same storyline going for that. Because nothing would have changed, I don't think. I think Empire and Jedi would have been different. And then I mean, where it lets slip about who Luke's father is, is a different thing. Maybe all three of them are in the bar and everyone kind of was pissed. And he goes, invaded your dad. He's sick in the corner on blue milk.
Yeah, because he becomes so traumatized by nearly being squashed by whatever separated him and Vader.
Yeah.
He becomes an alcoholic.
He's
on
an alcoholic,
blue milk.
yeah.
But he goes off and drinks these Thala Sirens milk.
Yeah. Only he drinks it straight from the teat.
That's where Luke now drinks it.
Yeah. But Luke puts it in a bottle and he realises that he's not gone that bad.
Yeah.
But with Obi-Wan, he said he's just like, you had to drag him off the teat.
Yeah, he was drinking 4 teats at a time.
Yeah.
He was 4 teats a day, man.
Getting all 4 teats in at once. And he got so obsessed that anything with a teat, he'd go and try and suck on it.
Did that bother you, that scene? Because I
find it funny.
And me, I
find it funny, but a lot of people seem to get really
offended by it.
And
I was like, really?
I don't know.
Anyway,
people are people.
There will be more. And likewise, if you've got questions, like Obi-Wan surviving or any other sort of what-if questions. Be great to hear from you. Do remember to comment below. And when you do leave us a comment, remember to press the like button.
That's it. And if you're listening to the podcast, then you can subscribe to us. Please come and rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Stitcher and Acast, I think is the other one we're on. And leave a review. It'd be lovely for you to let us know what you think, any ideas for the show. And also on YouTube, come and subscribe and hit the notification button and you'll get notified every time we release a new video. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So that's it. Episode 60, done and dusted. By episode 61, it could well be a trailer breakdown. I hope so. For Han Solo. Oh, my God. And I genuinely, a couple of days ago, I thought to myself, could this be the time when I do a video on YouTube and I'm crying because it's so bad. A bad movie? You're not going to be able to tell from a trailer. No. It could be a bad trailer. It could be a bad trailer. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The bad trailer is going to make me think, oh, my God. And then don't forget, bad trailers don't always necessitate a bad film. And then the video goes viral because it's a 48-year-old man crying. Yeah. He'll be up there with that Star Wars boy that's playing with his lightsaber. Yeah. People will start editing things onto it. Yeah, I'll be crying because it's a bad. Do you think they'll realise it's a bad movie? I have a little bit of faith in what. Kasdan can do, but it's the movie that I'm worried about it. I'm not going to lie, I am worried. Well, only time will tell, and it's not long to go. But it's first world problems. Absolutely. I'm worried about a 2-hour movie that, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't mean anything. Reminds me of that Monty Python song. I'm so worried about. Check it out if you've never heard of it. Okay, yeah, I will do. So that's it. Thank you very much. We'll see you again next week, and may the Force be with you all. Ways. Hi, I'm Neil. And I'm Pavo. Hey. Are you tired of listening to generic, boring radio podcasts? Boring. That's good. Want to put a bit of fun back in your Thursdays? Fun. Good work, you were long. So why not join us and Kelly and Jen? Naturally. For an hour of sometimes NSFW fun and frolics. Could you mug a pug? That's the real question. No, you can never mug a pug. No? You can mug one off. Including the UK top 10 movies. Third highest grossing movie of the year. The year is... Kelly's G-Spot. Jen's Challenge. Jen, challenge. And also featuring Barry Gibbs' health tips. There's nothing on TV on Thursdays anymore, so come and entertain your ears. You're funny. With the Pancast Show. Phenomenal. Check us out at pancast.co.uk, or you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or other podcast apps. It's all right.